Hey guys, we're Greg and Lisa.
Welcome or welcome back.
Why am I still waving? I don't even know. All right, so let's take a look here. What we're gonna watch today. I don't know why I was doing that. All right, okay. So we're taking a look here. This is 3 American myths that you won't believe anymore after living in Europe. All right, this person here. It's Top 10 Tales. That's the name of this channel here. They have 23,000 subscribers, 23,800 to be exact, and 1,900 likes. So what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to subscribe to the channel. We'll also include a link in the description so you can do the same thing. And we are going to like the video. All right.
Yeah. And just so you know, preface, we are U.S. citizens, but we moved to Spain in the beginning of 2024. So I'm guessing that these are going to be relatable to us because we don't live in the U.S. anymore. We live in, obviously, Europe.
Well, we'll find out, right?
Okay, we'll find out.
Right. What if everything you believed about America, the land of the free and home of the brave, wasn't as it seemed? What if the myths you've been raised on were nothing more than an illusion, crumbling in the face of reality? This is exactly what happens when Americans step outside their borders and experience life in Europe. For many, the idea of the American dream is a core belief. The notion that America is the greatest country in the world, leading the pack in everything from freedom to wealth, is deeply ingrained in the American psyche.
Yeah, from like birth. That's kind of what I was always taught.
Pledge of Allegiance and we're free.
Yeah.
That was like.
But what happens when Americans move to Europe and see how life works in other parts of the world? They start to realize that some of the beliefs they held about the USA just don't hold up. Here are 3 myths about life in America that you might not believe anymore once you've lived in Europe. Let's uncover these myths and explore why they may not hold up in a global context. Number 1. The USA is the best at everything.
About football or... sorry, football, soccer. Sorry.
Greg goes straight to sports.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's where my mind goes. There's a bunch of other stuff, but I will let him tell us. Okay.
Growing up in America, it's easy to believe that the country is the best at, well, everything. From the schools to the economy to the healthcare system, Americans are often taught that they have the highest quality of life and the most innovative systems in the world.
Yeah.
However, living in Europe...
Ooh, there goes Spain.
Yay! There we are, down at the bottom. Malaga.
Quickly debunks this idea. In Europe, it's common to experience systems that, quite frankly, work better than what's available in the USA. Take healthcare, for example.
Oh my Lord.
Many European countries offer universal healthcare systems that are affordable, efficient, and provide quality care to all citizens. In contrast, the U.S. healthcare system is notoriously expensive, often inaccessible to the uninsured, and complicated to navigate. When Americans first move to Europe, they're often shocked to see this stark contrast. They learn that countries like France, Germany, and the Netherlands have developed robust healthcare systems that cover everyone, regardless of income. The realization is eye-opening. How can these countries provide healthcare for all, while the USA, with its vast resources, struggles to provide affordable care for its citizens? The same goes for education.
I don't think it's not like we can't do it. The citizens of the U.S. don't want to do it.
Yeah, well, a lot of them.
It's
political.
It's political.
Yeah.
And so now we can't have universal health care.
Yeah.
And we have to pay, you know, we know the differences now that we've lived there and here.
Right.
You know, Greg had a $22,000 bill for his procedure for his heart that we got right before we left here.
And you should mention or throw this in there. We were paying $1,000 a month for insurance. Exactly.
For 2 of us.
Only 2 of us.
Yeah. Under his job.
Yeah.
And then we go here. We don't utilize necessarily the free universal health care, although we could.
Yeah.
But we do have private health insurance and it's $200 for 4 people.
Yes.
And when we go to the doctor.
We've used it several times.
Yeah. And it's huge.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Amazing.
Okay.
While American universities often come with hefty tuition fees, many European countries offer high-quality education at little to no cost to their citizens. In places like Germany, public universities charge no tuition fees, and students can pursue a world-class education without the crushing student debt that American graduates face.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Greg and I we met in college, and we went to a private college.
Yes.
So our bad for going to a private college. Because,
well, I mean, it's not a bad, it was good.
Well, it was like, what was it back then? 30,000 a year?
No, it was like 18, but still.
It was 18?
Adds up. So, and this is like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago that we went to college. All right, maybe a little more
like
than that,
30. I think my year is having a 30th anniversary.
Oh.
But so it was a while ago, but we left with tons of student debt and still have it.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, yeah,
this doesn't mean that Europe is perfect, but it highlights an important truth. The USA isn't necessarily the best at everything.
No.
In fact, other nations have found ways to achieve better outcomes in areas where America lags behind. Number 2. Americans are the most free people in the world. The concept of freedom is at the heart of the American identity.
Yeah.
The national anthem famously declares that the USA is the land of the free. However, after living in Europe, many Americans begin to question what freedom truly means.
Right.
In the US, the idea of freedom is often tied to the ability to carry firearms, practice any religion.
That's true. That's true. I never thought about that. Yeah. It's like, I'm free to carry an AK-47 to the grocery store.
And have the freedom to do whatever you want without interference. But in Europe, freedom takes on a different meaning. The freedom Europeans value often revolves around security, quality of life, and the protection of basic human needs.
Exactly.
For instance, many European countries have stricter gun control laws, and the idea of widespread gun ownership doesn't hold the same cultural significance as it does in the USA.
Right.
But does that mean Europeans are less free? Not at all. In fact, many Europeans enjoy a level of personal safety and peace of mind that is rare in the USA.
And I would say something that people don't view as not being free is being tied to the rat race of a job.
Oh, that's true.
You are not free when you have to go to work. You have to pay bills. Your husband and wife have to work, or both spouses.
That's true.
There's a lot of things that make you not free.
Yeah.
When you come here, only one of us really has to work. We have a lot more freedom to live our lives and enjoy life instead of just being tied to working all the time.
And not worry about guns, about our health.
Right. That's probably the biggest freedom that there is, and people don't even realize it. So
that's true.
The freedom from fear of gun violence is a powerful form of liberty. Additionally, Europeans enjoy freedoms that are not as guaranteed in the US. A European's right to access universal health care, quality education, and a clean environment are freedoms that many Americans would envy. When you live in a European country with healthcare provided by the government, you start to see freedom through a different lens. It's the freedom to not worry about medical bills, the freedom to know that your children's education will be affordable, and the freedom to feel safe walking down the street without fearing gun violence. Moreover,
that is a big deal, because especially what he just said about the freedom of knowing that your kids can go to school without the fear that you can't afford for them to go to school. I mean, we have family members that have had to set aside hundreds of thousands of dollars for the last, 10 years just so their kids can get a decent education.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe at a state school, I don't think they can necessarily even afford a university or something that our niece and nephew can actually, they be approved or qualified to go to. They just have to go where they can afford.
Why am I so angry?
I don't know. I know this is making us angry.
Make me bad.
I think it's just too, Americans don't realize, because we are in our gigantic bubble, because America's so big. We don't go out of country that often, so we don't even realize that all this is out there.
Right.
Moreover, Europeans generally have more time off from work, with many countries offering...
Oh God, that's another thing. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all not going to get to see this video because I'm just keep talking. But that's true. That is true. Like, they are always on a vacation out here. Something is closed. The whole month of August, it's hot, so I can understand that. But the whole month of August, Spain is pretty much, you are just on a vacation for a whole month. Yeah. So, and like a lot of things, there's stores and everything that are just closed for that month. So They are
That's
more
true.
concerned about living and enjoying life than just being tied to the rat race. That's the second time I've said that. So,
Yep.
Generous vacation policies and shorter work weeks. In the America, the culture of overwork and the constant pursuit of personal success often leads to burnout and stress. In Europe, however, people tend to value personal time more, leading to a better work-life balance. The freedom to enjoy life outside of work is something that many Americans can only dream of.
yeah, and that's what we do all the time. Jump in bed like that.
Yep.
Number 3, USA
Fair
offers
enough.
the best quality of life. The American dream is closely tied to the idea of a high standard of living. Growing up, many Americans are taught that success means owning a big house, driving an expensive car, and enjoying all the material comforts that money can buy. But after living in Europe, this view of quality of life begins to feel incomplete. Americans often equate a high quality of life with wealth, how much money you make and what possessions you own.
Yeah, and this causes a lot of problems psychologically for a lot of people, a lot of kids, all through life, because you're comparing yourself to everybody else.
Exactly.
And what makes them successful.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, not so much here. So, in fact, we hardly ever have anybody ask us what we do for work. So,
Right.
it's
Or
like,
do you have a car, or do you own a home, or I have family at home. My mom specifically, I'll just call her out.
Sorry, Mom.
But she's always asking because we're here in Spain. We don't own a home. We're renting, and she's always asking, "Did you buy your house? Did you buy a house yet? You need security.
Yeah,
Did you buy
true.
a house?"
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's just constant. And she's a boomer, so she's just older.
However, in Europe, quality of life is measured differently. Europeans tend to prioritize happiness, well-being, and time spent with loved ones over material possessions. A small apartment in Paris or a cozy house in Copenhagen may offer a better quality of life than a sprawling mansion in the US if it means having more time for family, fewer work hours, and less stress. In many European countries, people have more time to relax, travel, and enjoy life. For example, in France, it's common for businesses to close for a long lunch, and workers typically enjoy 5 weeks of paid vacation annually.
Did you hear that? 5 weeks paid vacation.
Yeah,
we get what, 2? 2 weeks of paid vacation.
Compare this to the US, where the standard vacation time is often just 2 weeks, and work culture often glorifies the hustle and grind.
It's true.
Moreover, Europe has a different approach to urban planning, which can enhance the quality of life. Many European cities are designed to be walkable, with public transportation systems that make it easy to get around without a car. This not only reduces pollution but also increases the time people spend outside, walking, biking, or enjoying green spaces. In contrast, many American cities are designed around cars, leading to long commutes, traffic congestion, and a greater reliance on personal vehicles.
And less time with family. So they've left that part out. Actually, he might say it right now.
He may have said, he's probably going to say it right now,
Let's see.
In addition to work-life balance and urban planning, Europeans also enjoy access to high-quality food and public services.
Lord.
In countries like France and Italy, eating fresh, locally sourced meals is a way of life, and people take pride in their culinary traditions. In the USA, food is often viewed...
Does that look good?
No.
Oh, I was like, why are you making that noise?
No, because it's like so gross.
Oh, yeah. Although that waffle looks okay.
No. Oh.
I mean,
they do have waffles here in Spain.
Yeah, gofres. They're called
Gofres.
Yeah.
viewed as a convenience, with processed foods and fast food dominating many diets. On the other hand, the availability of high-quality public services like healthcare and education in Europe ensures that everyone has access to the basic necessities of life, regardless of their income. In the USA, these services are often privatized and costly, making them out of reach for many people. After living in Europe, many Americans begin to question the myths they once held dear. The idea that the USA is the best at everything, that Americans are the most free people in the world, and that the US offers the best quality of life no longer seems as solid as it once did. Living abroad gives Americans the opportunity to see life from a new perspective. They begin to understand that other countries have different approaches to healthcare, education, and work-life balance, and that these systems can work just as well, if not better, than the ones in the USA. They also realize that freedom, happiness, and quality of life mean something different when seen through the lens of other cultures. The truth is that America is not the best at everything, nor is it the only place to find freedom or a high quality of life.
Yeah.
Living in Europe opens up new possibilities and challenges long-held beliefs about what makes a society great. It's a reminder that there's always room for improvement, and sometimes the best lessons come from looking beyond our borders. Thanks for watching. If these myths about life in the USA surprised you, don't forget to hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below.
All right. Well.
Yay, Europe.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's interesting. You probably got some angry people watching this video right now, but I mean, it's just a reality. I mean, it's all to each its own, but the things that are important to us, for sure, we do find that, I mean, it's not very likely that we're going to be going back to the United States. So, well, we have to visit. We have family there.
We're not going back to live.
So, yeah. No. So we ain't doing that. So, all right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. By the way, if you have any comments on anything that we said or anything that you just saw, go ahead and drop that in the comments below, because we like to have a conversation, believe it or not. All right, so let's see here. Let's take a look at this here. So we got here. No other country talks so much about freedom and has so little of it. Let's blow this up a little bit so you can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Likes. Yeah.
And how free is someone who thinks he has to arm himself against his neighbors and his government?
Exactly. Like, yes, agree.
You want me to like it?
Oh, no, that's okay.
Okay,
Well, sure. Okay.
You said it, so now I'm doing it. All right. In Greenland, in Greenland, we are free from the Americans.
Oh man, that's
oh boy,
scary stuff.
Yeah,
gonna happen there.
All right, that's okay. That's another video.
Okay, that's another video. That actually is going to be another video. Yeah,
we will touch on that. All right. Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right. Adios.
Bye.
Peace.